I started the Brooklyn Bards 7 years ago with the other member, Donald Nolan. We just had an idea one day. We were jamming in his bedroom. I had my acoustic guitar. He had his tin whistles out. And we started playing Irish tunes that we knew. I mean, we grew up with them. All our parents are from Ireland. My mom's from Sligo. My father's from Leitrim. And we're first generation here. So we started playing these songs. And then we just kind of said, hey, why don't we get a little Irish band going together?
Well, I'm Joseph Mayer, and today we're heading into the studio to do recording of our upcoming album.
You haven't been able to perform at the bars and restaurants during the COVID shutdowns. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that the studio recording will allow your sounds to go global.
Right, yeah, I mean, it's a thing where as a band we've been so busy over the last few years. We never intended to wait this long to be doing the recording. It just, because we were gigging probably four to six times a month pretty much, it just went on the back burner, and we talked about it. Yeah, we got to get in the recording studio soon, but we've always had a solid schedule booked.
So Botany Bay, the song that we're going to cover, is where Sydney developed from back in the 1780s.
Sure. Yeah.
So let's give a shout out to Sydney.
Well, from America and from the band, the Brooklyn Bards, we say, we shout out to Australia, Sydney, an amazing place, and a beautiful song about the bay there called Botany Bay. Yeah.
All right, it's cold out here, so I think we're going to wrap this portion of the interview.
All right.
All right, so we'll catch you inside.
Sounds good, Mark.
Okay, Joe, thanks.
Middle mic is capturing the ambience of the room, and then I have separate feeds on each of them to mix it in, you know?
Right.
Because sometimes that's like what you got to do is bring yourself out of your brain.
Tell me a little bit about the whistle.
The whistle, I think it's a beautiful instrument it's basically a cheap piece of metal, tin, or brass, but you can get some wonderful sounds from it, as you can hear. Jumping the octaves, I love to go up and get that higher pitch on the same whistle. I use mainly, they're known as Generation, and a Tony Dixon whistle, and my E whistle.
Why don't we go out here so they can...
All right.
Oh, this looks professional.
Yeah.
All right.
So tell me a little bit about your involvement with the band.
All right, my name is Robert Montemorano, and I've been the percussionist for the Brooklyn Bards, wow, almost 6 years now. And this is our second CD that we're recording, so excited. It's a lot of work, but we're getting some stuff done.
Good. Yeah, it's nice being in the recording studio.
Yes. It's a great studio. And yeah, before I played percussion, I'm playing a djembe, and I've sort of rigged things up to have my own unique setup. A lot of people don't actually approach it the way I'm approaching it, but I've played drums for like 20 years. So my idea is to try to like set my djembe up so it's sort of like a mini drum set. I don't have to bring all my other stuff. And that's the African drum. So I have that set up. I have a splash cymbal, I have tambourines, I have a foot tambourine, and just little shakers and things like that.
I laid down the bass tracks for about 5 of the songs on banjo. What I'd say about it, that is, it wasn't originally, it has its roots in Africa, and then came over to America with the slaves, unfortunately. They used it, and then it was picked up in the early 1900s. I play 3 different instruments on the album. I also am a fiddle player, and this album I use mostly mandola. I kind of switch back and forth based on what the song calls for.
I play the rhythm, the chords on the guitar behind the movement of the melody in these dance pieces.
You're basically the anchor to the band.
In a way, you could say that, because me and Rob on the djembe are the rhythm section. You know, we keep the rhythm going, and then Donal on the flute, he'll take off with a melody on the flute, and Joe will do the main melody. He'll be picking out the notes, so to speak, or like what you would call lead guitar in like a rock band.
Okay, so I'm slating this Bounty Bay instrumental take. Well, this was like take 2, I think, right?
Botany.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got toilet paper on your brain.
Yeah, Bounty Bay. I'm going back to Bounty.
A plentiful wipe.
Botany Bay.
The idea that I wanted was to give this band like these songs are ancient songs, and I wanted to have that ancient sound. I'm emulating the same patterns, but I'm emulating it on that drum. So some people might say it from a traditional standpoint. I'm not really playing it in a traditional way.
I started singing Irish music since I was very young, a child, because my father played the button accordion and he always sang. And there was always what's known today as a hoolie going on in the house on the weekends, which was like a party, an Irish party. In those days, I didn't play the tin whistle, I was singing, you know.
Right.
So my father would always accompany me on this button accordion.
Right.
And he was quite good. You know, he was asked to play at a lot of different places, and he'd always bring me with him.
Can you tell me a little bit about the history of this song, Botany Bay?
Botany Bay, this is I think Donal might give you a little better history lesson, but from what I understand, it's a song about moving over to Australia, you know, a lot of Irish immigrants moved to Australia. Also, a lot of Irish prisoners and slaves were shipped off to Australia, and it has a lot to do with this port that we're coming into and everything like that.
Right.
So,
yeah.
You know, there's a lot of history, and I think a lot of people don't realize that involvement with that Ireland had in Australia.
And it's all about immigration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what's going to be on the album?
I think it's a very diversified traditional Irish album. It has a lot of different types of tunes. We have the sea shanty type tunes like Botany Bay, and another one called The Mermaid, which ends with an instrumental. People will know it from the Popeye cartoons, but the actual name of it's called The Sailor's Hornpipe. And we end with that one. That gives the sea shanty aspect of the CD. And then we harken back to the old, like, chamber vocal music, even like from the turn of the century, back in the late 1800s, 1900s. Our singer Donal Nolan does. He has like a beautiful Irish tenor voice, so we're taking advantage of that in a song called The Old Turf Fire, and another one called Eileen Og. And these are sort of just songs, but more almost in the classical sense they were written, not so much in the folky sense of a lot of the Irish songs. Then we have other Irish instrumental songs. We have something called Carolyn's Concerto, which is very famous, very beautiful melodic piece. And also other traditional reels and jigs that we're doing, as well as a couple of like more folky ballads, like Carrick Fergus would be in that vein. One called The Spanish Lady, be like more like a folky tune. Yeah, so I'm happy with the diversity of it. It's got a lot of different flavors.
And whatever, I mean, if you can nail it live, it's always the best thing. It feels better. But if you just can't nail it, then let's settle for something else.
You can nail it.
I can nail it.
Let's just do the instrumental thing.
Well, we just take it from the instrumental.
Let's take it from the instrumental.
Yeah.
All right, we'll try an instrumental.
I thought that take of the song was the best we ever did.
Well, that was really good.
Okay, let's just do take 3. Okay, let's rock it. Give me a second. I'll cue up the system and I'll slate for you.